In a world balancing on the razor's edge of global power, a classified simulation ignited shockwaves through every war room in America. An intense, blisteringly realistic scenario pitting the United States against the full military force of China. A clash so explosive that even the most hardened strategists were left breathless. The screens erupted with swarms of enemy aircraft, cyberstorms ripping through digital defenses, and naval armadas carving through black water like tidal waves of steel. And then came the moment that froze every analyst in place, the final stage of the simulation. A scenario so brutal, so unforgiving, that it stripped away every illusion and exposed the raw, undeniable truth that shook the room to its core. When the world faces its darkest hour, when the battlefield becomes chaos incarnate, no force on Earth adapts faster, strikes harder, or stands taller than the United States Armed Forces. Because the deeper the simulation went, the clearer the truth became. Not fear, not doubt, but fire. A fire born in the hearts of American warriors from generations past, carried from the blood-soaked sands of Iwo Jima to the frozen ridges of the Chosin Reservoir, from the jungles of Vietnam to the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan. As the simulation expanded, the battlefield crackled with the unmistakable presence of the United States Army, standing like a living wall against overwhelming odds. Boots planted in the earth with a resolve carved from sacrifice. The analysts watched American infantry units maneuver with unmatched discipline, pivoting through smoke and chaos with precision that felt less like training and more like instinct, an oath etched into every heartbeat, every breath, every command. The Army's armored divisions roared like thunder across burning terrain, Abrams tanks crushing through enemy lines with unstoppable force, their steel hulls glowing under the inferno of combat, yet pushing forward with a relentlessness that defied imagination. And as the digital dust rose, the simulation widened its lens to reveal the oceans, vast, dark, and trembling, as the United States Navy surged into the fray. Massive carrier strike groups advanced like floating fortresses of freedom, their decks alive with motion as FA-18s and F-35Cs ripped into the sky, engines screaming with the fury of a nation refusing to bow. Sailors worked in synchronized chaos, launching jet after jet into the night with movements so sharp, so seamless, it looked like choreography forged in fire. Beneath the waves, the silent guardians of America, its nuclear submarines, slipped through the deep, like shadows with teeth, unseen and unstoppable, ready to strike with precision that could end any threat before it ever surfaced. Destroyers unleashed volleys of missiles that tore through enemy strongholds, lighting the sea with bursts of white-hot power that forced even the most seasoned analysts to exhale in awe. And then, as the simulation ascended into the endless blue, the United States Air Force took command of the heavens. Stealth bombers glided like specters, invisible until the moment they dropped their payload with surgical perfection. F-22 Raptors and F-35 Lightning IIs weaved through enemy formations with the elegance of eagles and the violence of storms, pilots executing maneuvers that pushed the limits of physics, their resolve unbroken, their focus absolute. Every twist of the joystick, every press of the throttle felt like the heartbeat of a nation pulsing across the skies in defiance of tyranny. High above them, satellites orbited like watchful guardians, feeding data to command centers with the speed of light, forming the backbone of a technological war machine unmatched by any superpower on Earth. The simulation shifted again, this time into the realm of invisible warfare. Cyber operators in darkened rooms fought battles without borders, dismantling enemy networks with lines of code that struck faster than bullets. Intelligence teams stitched together real-time battlefield pictures, guiding troops with clarity even in the chaos of simulated destruction. Drones soared overhead, thousands of them, weaving a digital tapestry of surveillance and precision strikes that overwhelmed enemy defenses with impossible speed. But what shook the analysts wasn't the machines, it was the people behind them. They watched medics sprint through gunfire to save wounded comrades, Marines charging through debris-choked streets with grit carved into their bones, sailors working through exhaustion because the mission demanded nothing less. They watched airmen guiding jets home through storms of chaos, guardians of the Space Force locking shields around America's satellites, protecting the nation's eyes and ears against attacks launched at the speed of thought. Every action, every sacrifice, every ounce of courage formed a portrait of American strength that no simulation could fully capture. The analysts witnessed something deeper than strategy, something spiritual. Patriotism not as a slogan, but as a living force. Discipline not as a rule, but as a way of life. Victory not as a hope, but as an expectation forged through generations of training, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit of excellence. And then came the simulations. Final stage, the overwhelming assault designed to break America's defenses from every direction at once. Enemy missiles rained down like steel hail. Warships pushed across oceans with aggressive formation. Aircraft swarmed the skies in numbers designed to suffocate any opposition. The analysts braced for collapse. It never came. Instead, the United States military united with breathtaking synchronization. Fighters swept the skies clean. Intercontinental missiles armed themselves in silent readiness. Submarines eliminated threats before they even realized they were being hunted. Cyber teams shut down enemy grids with the precision of surgeons. Armor brigades pressed forward like iron giants. And on every front, on every terrain, through every storm of fire, American service members did what they have always done. They stood their ground. They advanced. They fought. They refused to yield. The simulation concluded not with destruction, but with revelation. America's true strength doesn't lie solely in its weapons, though they are unmatched, nor in its machines, though they are miracles of engineering. America's strength lies in its people, the men and women who raise their right hand and say, "Send me," the families who wait, pray, and carry the weight of sacrifice, the veterans whose legacies fuel the warriors of today, the belief, unyielding, unshakable, that freedom is worth defending with every heartbeat. As the screens dimmed and silence fell over the analysts, they understood the truth with absolute clarity. America does not prepare for war because it seeks conflict. America prepares because the world is safer when America stands ready. And as long as the stars and stripes rise over this nation, as long as American spirit burns with courage, discipline, innovation, and unity, there is no enemy, no simulation, no force on earth that can extinguish the power of the United States Armed Forces. America does not fall. America does not retreat. America does not surrender. When the world needs strength, America stands first, stands fearless, and stands victorious.